All right, so let's start officially. So, hi, my name is Joe Gagauskas, and I'm author of this book, The Journey of the Awakened Psychics, the 10-step guide for awakening your psychic gifts. And I'm coming on live for you today because I want to cover the 3 keys to activating your psychic third eye. Now, before we get into that, let me talk about why I put this group together and talk about, for those of you that are meeting me for the first time, the upcoming challenge. I have this event called the Unleash Your Psychic Gifts in 5 Days Challenge. And actually, let me go ahead and copy paste that into the comments right now. So if you haven't signed up for it yet, here is the link, and let me go ahead and pin this. And what we're going to do over the next 5 days is I'm going to teach you a new tool each day, where leading up to day 4 and day 5 of the challenge, you actually are going to start tapping into your psychic third eye. So in this pre-training, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and cover the 3 keys to activating your psychic third eye, so that by the time you get to day 4 and day 5 of the challenge, you're more prepared. Okay, which, by the way, this is pre-training number 3. There's pre-training number 1, pre-training number 2. Pre-training number 1, I covered the 3 reasons why your psychic gifts are blocked, and pre-training number 2, I talked about the, oh my gosh, I went blank. If anyone remembers what I covered, go ahead and just type that in. So Stephanie says this video is constantly getting interrupted for anyone else besides me. Yeah, it might be your connection. So far, everyone else said the video was okay. So maybe if you could get either go on your computer, or I'm not sure. Oh yeah, Michelle, thank you for the reminder. So pre-training number 2 was the 3 stages to awakening your psychic gifts. All right. So 1 second. Joy's going live here. Okay. So this is what we're going to cover today, the 3 keys to activating your psychic third eye. Now, why activate the psychic third eye first? Okay, so before I get into the actual 3 keys, let's talk about why activating the third eye is important. First of all, and let me know if this is you, many people, especially many awakening psychics, they read by feeling energy. All right, so they read by feeling energy. Now, let me know if that's you. Like when you get a sense of energy, your kind of default is like, oh, I felt that, or oh, that's a weird energy. I totally felt that person's emotions. Or you walk into a room and you could feel the energy of the room. All right, so how many people can relate to working with energy in that way? You feel energy. So Sarah Ruth is like, that's me. Now, especially if you're an empath, right? The thing with empaths is you read, especially by feeling energy, but the challenge for empaths is that you're also absorbing energy at the same time. All right, so let me know if you could relate to that. Like you're an empath and you feel energy, but not only that, you start absorbing everyone else's energies in the process. Okay, so a bunch of you are like, me, yep, I feel it, definitely feel it, I relate. All right, Dominique says me. Sometimes I get a slight pain in my solar plexus when some negative situation is ahead, says Justin. Gail, me. Everything, most definitely I feel energy, not as badly as before, but yes. All right. So that is real, okay? You start to feel energy. Now, I'm going to get into a little bit of spiritual anatomy here. When you're feeling energy, you're actually working with energy using your 2nd chakra. And 1 second, you guys. all you guys know that have gone with me live, like I have my dog, and I have to keep my door closed because I just want to have a quiet broadcast. But sometimes she's like, I want to come in, I want to go out. Anyway, so here's the thing with feeling energy, you guys. It's you feel energy with your second chakra, okay? And you know, I've done readings for many empaths before, and literally when I'm reading an empath, I'm looking at their second chakra. You know, normally you want your chakras to open and close as needed. So you want them to be flexible, okay? But I've done so many readings on empaths especially where their second chakra is like just open. It's just super open. And it's like they don't close. And one of the reasons why the second chakra is so open is because it's so filled with other people's energies of all the stuff that they're absorbing, right? The challenge is when you're reading with your second chakra, it's like, well, am I reading because of what I'm actually feeling? Or is it because of that other person's what energy or emotions or whatever else you might be feeling? And not only that, you guys, but here's a real challenge with reading with their second chakra, especially if you're an empath absorbing everyone else's energies. When, say, you're filled with like 30 other people's energies, right? Can you imagine how hard it would be to get a really clear read? Does that make sense? Okay. So when it comes to feeling energy, all right, I do find that many awakening psychics, basically they're stuck in the second chakra. So that's one thing. Now, the other thing, and let me know if this is making sense, you guys, okay? Because like I said, I'm getting into like a little bit of spiritual anatomy here, but it's going to make so much more sense so that when we do start, you know, talking about the sixth chakra or the third eye, then you'll realize why this is actually important. Now, so a lot of you are saying, yes, it's very draining. Okay, makes sense. Great. So now the other thing I want to talk about when it comes to reading with their second chakra is that chakras, you know, when you look at them, they spin. Okay, maybe that's not the best way to describe it. But for example, the second chakra just spins a little bit slower compared to your upper chakras. By the time you get to your sixth chakra and your crown chakra, those spin so quickly. Now, why is that important? It's when you start reading with your second chakra only, you're limited. Okay, it actually limits you, and you're limited to a certain amount of frequency that you could actually read. Right? And I'm talking about like frequencies like emotions. Okay, you know, there's actually studies that emotions are more of a physical body thing. All right, so when you're feeling emotions, those are things that you feel with your second chakra. Okay, does that make sense? Now, what if you wanted to access frequencies beyond what the second chakra can feel? Okay, so there you are, an awakening psychic. You're encountering energies like energies from spirit guides, or your something comes in from your higher knowing, or maybe you want to read stuff like how to read a past life, or your Akashic records, or even contact your angels or ascended masters, archangels, like those kinds of beings. Well, if you're limited by your second chakra, which again spins a lot more slowly, right, compared to your sixth chakra, which spins so quickly, guess which chakra will help you access those higher spiritual frequencies? The slower chakra or the faster chakra? Right? Of course, the faster chakra. Okay? So, all told, if you're trying to read energy from your second chakra, it's not very neutral because you have all these other people's energies in your second chakra, and B, it literally is limited to a certain band of frequency with which you can reach. Okay? So, is all this making sense? Let me just check in with you guys here. Dominique's like the faster one. Hummingbird, sixth chakra. Yeah, like the hummingbird's feathers just Go really quickly. Okay. All right. Okay, awesome. And then people are like, yes, the faster one, the faster one. Okay. And it looks like some people are having trouble with the broadcast. My apologies, you guys. So the replay will be available like immediately after. But anyway, yes. Dominique is like, because of retrograde, I've been resting a lot. Yeah. Maybe it's because of retrograde and like this information or the broadcast is getting a little screwy here. That's okay. Gail says, absolutely, yes. Lori says, question, why does it make my throat chakra open as well when connecting with spirit? Yeah, the fifth chakra is actually also a very spiritual chakra. That's associated with your clairaudience, your telepathy. All right, so yes, if you're trying to communicate with spirit via auditory, whether it's talking, telepathy, or hearing spirit, then yes, your throat chakra will definitely open up as well. Okay, point being, if you're stuck in your second chakra though, right, then it's actually harder to access that psychic information. Okay, so a lot of you are like, yes, that totally makes sense. Now, the key here now, right, is what if you could rise up out of your second chakra, kind of like taking an elevator ride up and up to your sixth chakra, which is your third eye. Okay. Now, here's the deal. When you start reading with this chakra, your third eye, then you could start to see energy. That's what the sixth chakra is all about. It's all about your clairvoyance. It's all about seeing energy. And here's the thing. You could see a whole lot more frequency-wise than what you could feel with your second chakra. Okay? So just to illustrate a little bit more, if you could only feel, say, this much energy, right, frequency-wise, with your sixth chakra, I'm going beyond what you could even see in the screen. It's like you could see this much energy in comparison. Okay? So is all that making sense, right? When you start to see energy with the third eye instead, then you could access a whole lot more information, a whole lot more frequencies with your gifts. Okay? So let me know, does that make sense? Okay, and I see some of the comments coming in. All right, and one of you said okay, it's better with the when you switch on the phone. Okay, thanks for letting me know. All right, so all told, this is why I'm covering this today, right? Because when you could activate that psychic third eye, then that really opens you up to really like realms, realities, dimensions that were once out of reach. And when you can start reading stuff like past lives, the Akashic records, there's so much information from there. Okay? Let alone when you start seeing your angels and spirit guides, dead loved ones. I mean, so much more than what's available just from accessing, trying to read energy with their second chakra. All right? So yes, everyone's saying yes, definitely. Kathy says, how do you get there? Gail says, when I do Reiki, I go directly to my sixth, seventh chakra. Awesome. Dominique, I was told by someone in a dream, you rise. I think that's a typo there. Something about your ears. Hannah says yes. Okay, great. So now that we established why it's important to read with your second chakra, why it's important to activate your psychic third eye in the first place, just like what Kathy was asking, how do you get there? Well, let's talk about that now with the 3 keys. So let me just say that when it comes to these 3 keys, if you skip any of these steps, then activating your psychic third eye actually becomes near impossible. Okay? So here's key number 1. Key number 1 to activating your psychic third eye is you must ground. All right? You must ground. So what is grounding? Well, my definition of grounding is it helps the body to feel safe, all right? And you're relaxed, right? When you're grounded, you're relaxed. Let's say you had a really crappy day and you had all this energy in your space. Well, when you could actually ground, right? You're not so activated. Your body's not so tense, All right, so grounding is super important. Now, on day one of the challenge, one of the things I teach you is I call it honoring your body. And we'll get more into that when we do get to day one of the challenge. But one story I want to share with you now is go ahead and imagine like the last time you were in a scary movie, right? There you were, you're in the about to go to the theater, and you're like, oh my gosh, I know it's going to be a scary movie, and you mentally, emotionally prepare yourself, right? And yet there you are, sitting in the movie theater, right? You're just watching up on that screen, and then out of nowhere, boom, like you get scared, right? And then your body jumps, like half the audience is screaming. The thing is about that, okay, the whole point of that is that even if you know all that stuff is coming, right? Mentally, you know it's coming. What happens is your body, your physical body, reacts anyway. Okay, does that make sense? It's almost like your body has a mind of its own. Now, let me tell you that when you start reacting that way, when your body starts reacting that way, you're all jumpy, excited, right? So that's actually the opposite of being grounded. Does that make sense so far? Like when you get freaked out by all that, like that's the opposite of being grounded. Now, what does this have to do with activating your psychic third eye? Well, when you're jumpy like that, okay, when you're ungrounded, ideally you want to be in a place where you're relaxed, okay? So picture those times when you got like 333, 777, right? You weren't thinking, like you're just relaxed, okay? Or maybe you're about to go to sleep and you're in your dream space and you get these premonitions, or dead relatives or spirit guides come to you in your dreams giving you these messages, all right? You're relaxed in a way because you're about to fall asleep. You're really grounded in those moments. Now, when you're not grounded, right, there you are trying to access your third eye. What will happen, right, and this was bound to happen, when you start opening your third eye, just know you will start to see things that will freak you out. Okay? You might see this weird spirit guide, or you might see this unfamiliar energy, or you might see some weird symbol. I had one student, she's like, Joe, I just keep seeing eyes. Every time she closes her eyes, she literally sees these eyes looking at her. Here's the thing, you guys. All of that is just energy. Okay? It's just energy. The thing is, though, just like watching a scary movie, your body doesn't know the difference. Okay? So if you see some weird vision or something unfamiliar, if your body starts to freak out or gets ungrounded, then you're going to lose connection to activating that third eye, being able to access that psychic information that I talked about earlier. Okay? So key number one is you must be grounded. Now, on day one of the challenge, I'm going to teach you exactly my method for grounding. And let me tell you guys, when you can learn this tool, literally it's like a light switch, like a psychic light switch. When you start getting grounded, then your gifts will just start to turn almost, not automatically, but almost automatically just turn on like a light switch. Okay? So how cool would that be? Being able to turn on and off your gifts like a light switch. All right. And I'm seeing like some comments here about grounding. Michelle's asking, by grounding, it helps to control the nervous system. Yes, absolutely. That's like one of the side benefits, I'll say. And Dominique says, think of it as plugging into a grid. Absolutely. That's a great picture. Okay, so any questions about grounding in particular before I move on? Is this making sense so far? Key number one, grounding, right? Key number one to activating your psychic third eye. Before you even start to activate your third eye, you need to be grounded, okay? Anna's like, I wish mine would never cut off. All right, so a lot of you are like, that's awesome, it'll be great. Okay, great. So now that's key number one. And if you guys have any questions, just post them, okay? And I'll do my best to answer them as I go. And at the end, I'll also leave time for a Q&A. So key number one is you must be grounded. So what is key number two? Well, this is especially for you empaths, but really it's for all psychics, all experience levels, whether you're a clairvoyant, a medium, channeler, clairaudient, a healer. Key number two to activating your psychic third eye is you must be clear. Okay, you must be clear. So what do I mean by this? Well, you see the window behind me? Imagine if that window were dirty, right? Just covered up, just, someone splashed mud on it or something, and then there's all the residue, right? So here's the thing. A lot of people, right, they're going to look out the dirty window and they're going to be like, I don't see anything, right? Is that a tree out there? Are those leaves? Is that a hummingbird flying outside the window? And imagine just straining to look out the dirty window, right? Logically, you'd be like, why strain so hard, right? When you could just clean the window, right? Get some Windex or something and clean that sucker off, right? Here's the thing though, for awakening psychics, many awakening psychics are trying to see through like a dirty window, all right? And I can't tell, in pre-training number two or number one, I talked about the 3 blocks, right? 3 reasons why your psychic gifts are blocked. One of the reasons why people try so hard is because of all the stuff that's blocking your view, right? And earlier I talked about the empaths, like if you're second chakra, you have all this other stuff in your second chakra. Well, you could also get a lot of stuff in your 6th chakra as well, let alone the challenges of your second chakra. All right. So what if you had the tools so that instead of trying to strain through your third eye, what if you could just clear that off? Okay. Then you don't have to strain so hard, right? Just like the window behind me, just clean that thing off and like, oh wow, the tree is there. Ooh, look, it's green. Look at all the leaves. Oh yeah, there's the hummingbird flapping its wings really quickly. All right, so that's key number 2 is just to get clear. And that way you don't have to strain. Now, you might be wondering, how do we clear? Well, guess what? On day 3 of the challenge, day 2 of the challenge, I teach you how to look for 3 specific energies that are blocking you and blocking your gifts and blocking your psychic third eye. And that combined with grounding to help you clear all that, right? We cover that on day 2. On day 3, there you are, you're already clear. On day 3, I then teach you psychic protection. Okay, it's called psychic protection, psychic boundaries. I teach you these. By the way, you guys, these are really easy to learn tools, so that when a foreign energy does come your way, it won't get into your space. It won't get into your psychic third eye. Now, is all that making sense? By the way, like just being clear, so you don't have to strain so hard. Kathy's asking, can all this be done with intention to clear the window? Yes. That's actually just half of it. All right. So when we get to day 2 and 3 of the challenge, you're going to learn the exact tools there. So great question. Zelina's saying yes. Okay. It's making sense. Great. Now, before I get to key number 3, I want to tell you a secret, you guys, to honing your gifts is that when you get clear, what does that mean? Well, it actually means you're getting a healing in the process. All right. So all that stuff, right? I talked about in your second chakra, like everyone else's energies that got into your space, right? Or even other people's thoughts that can get into your psychic third eye. What if you can clear that and when you're clearing, you therefore get a healing in the process. Like how cool would that be, right? To get the healing, to get clear, to get rid of foreign energies, negative energies out of your space. All right. And in the past pre-trainings that we covered, many of you are like, oh my gosh, I just have so much other stuff in my space. Everyone else's doubts, fears, all the second guessing, right? Caused by those foreign energies. Well, when you get clear, one thing I want to get clear to you guys is that that's actually a form of healing. Okay. And so when we get to day 2 and 3, especially of the challenge, day 1, 2, and 3, actually, you're going to be learning these really simple healing tools to help you get clear, not only just to activate your psychic third eye, but you could actually use these healing tools out in life. All right. So how cool would that be? All right. So I'm saying yes. Michelle's like, there was someone outside the window. That normal? Yeah, we have a little house in the back. People live there. We have tenants. So yeah, sometimes people will be walking through by the window. All right. So a lot of you are saying yes, 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 and go ahead and type in there like healing. Like you'd be interested in healing. All right, Lori is asking a really great question. What about calcium buildup? Yeah, it's interesting. Calcium buildup, a lot of that is due to like the fluoride in the water. So that stuff you can control, like just drink distilled water. Um, but also, what I find is that when you work on the energy side of things, all right, that stuff in your pineal glands tends to just clear away automatically anyway. I've taught this for many years now, and like calcium buildup in your pineal gland, just it's not a thing. Like because you're getting past the physical part of it all, okay, and you get more into the energy side of things. So hopefully that makes sense. Rachel's saying, awesome. Sarah, is there pain associated with activating your psychic third eye? Actually, that's a great question, Sarah. A lot of times when your psychic third eye is blocked, right? When you do start to clear all that, you could literally feel it releasing. So every time I do these trainings, these challenges, someone will say, "Oh my God, I feel throbbing in my third eye." When and if you feel that, that's actually a great sign that you're clearing. Okay. For some people, it can come across as pain, but like I said, honor the body. Your body's going to react. Don't freak out about it. Your body will react no matter what. Okay. So that's where the grounding comes in. All right. All right. So a bunch of you, Justin saying healing, raise your Kundalini energy. Yeah, Kundalini is a form of a healing energy, but I'll teach you other tools so that you don't have to, raise your Kundalini. Let's see. Justin says pain can accompany the third eye with too much activity. I've learned and heard. Yeah. So it's natural. After a while, when you start doing this when you really start healing and clearing all that stuff, then you won't feel it so much. In the beginning, yes, right? But this is why I teach you to ground first. Okay. Let's see. Tina's saying, I'm coming into what my friend calls an awakening. I'm having pushback from my spouse and kids. They're asking why all of a sudden I'm immersing myself into this, but I don't know how to explain it to them other than I can't stop. Yeah. You know what, Tina? Let me do a huggy emoji for you. Totally get it. Oh, what happened? Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's so common, right? I could tell you that in my awakening journey. First of all, I'm just that person when I try something, like I go all out, right? But then on the other hand, I just felt like this really huge higher calling I didn't even know why. Like here I am, a professional psychic. Back then, I had no desire to be a professional psychic. I just wanted to achieve something. Okay? I just wanted to be a better version of myself. But lo and behold, as life, moved forward, life started unfolding, started learning new things, started accessing these higher realms of spiritual information, then it became all more clear, right? And yeah, just like you, I didn't want to stop. Like I wanted to learn all this. Okay. And let me know if any of you could relate to Tina, by the way. Tina, you're definitely not the only one. Mary's asking, does everyone have abilities? Yes, to some degree. But like I said, one of the reasons why you ground and clear is because your abilities are right there. It's just piled on top with all this other junk. That's why you got to get clear in the first place. All right. Okay, I'm gonna scroll back to the questions here. Let me get to key number 3, you guys. So, and some of you, like Sarah said, I could relate. Okay, so let me just review real quick. Key number 1 is you must ground. Key number 2 is you must clear. Now here is key number 3. getting tongue tied here. Where am I on the bullets? Okay. So here's key number 3. Key number 3, you guys, to activating your psychic third eye is you actually must practice. Just quick story. I have been teaching adults, right? Adult learning in some form or fashion since 2001. Okay. So if that tells you how old I am, you guys, I've been teaching adults for a long time. Okay. And even way back when I was in the Navy, I used to teach lab school. I used to teach things like microbiology and hematology and chemistry. And of course, now I'm teaching about energy, right? But whether I'm teaching like those topics or teaching about energy, the thing with adult learners is that first of all, you're busy, right? What adult is not busy? Okay. And the thing with adult learners, when adult learners try to learn, is they want to get it like that, right? They want to learn it quickly. And if they don't learn it quickly, then like, forget it. Okay. So that's one thing about adult learners. The other thing about adult learners, and tell me if you could relate to this, is that when you learn something new, you want to get it right the first time. Okay. Said another way, like you want to get it perfect. Okay. And here's the thing about that though. When you're learning something new, right? And Justin says instant gratification. When you're learning something new, it's like riding a bike, right? When you were younger and learning how to ride a bike, did you just start riding a bike overnight? It's like, no. Okay. So that's the difference between like a kid learner, a child learner, and an adult learner. A kid is willing to go through the process, right? A kid is willing to fall off the bike. A kid is willing to scrape their knee or elbow a few times. And what do? Even though they're crying, scrape their knee, scrape their elbow, they get right back up, right? And here's the funny thing about, when I've watched my students try to learn this psychic stuff, it's like, there I am, I'm teaching them to activate their third eye, right? I tell you guys to close your eyes, see the energy in your mind's eye, see how it appears. And then, more often than not, at least one student in the class will be like, oh, I don't see anything. I'm like, you literally just gave it 20 seconds. You didn't even give it some time to practice or, experiment even, right? So point being, you guys, don't expect yourself to get this like instantly overnight. It actually does take practice, all right? And so many of you are like, yep, been there, doesn't work, slow and steady wins the race. Just get up and try again. Okay, yeah, so y'all are getting it, right? But here's the other thing, though, that I notice with adult learners. Many adult learners, if they don't get it right the first time, what do? They berate themselves. They beat themselves up, right? It's so funny. I remember one student in meditation, and you could just see his face. I didn't even have to like read him psychically. I could literally just see his face and read his face. And he's like murmuring to himself, like, oh, so stupid. Why can't you get this? Ugh. Here's the thing, you guys. That energy of beating yourself up, the negativity, the doubt, the second guessing, all those are lower vibrations, okay, lower frequencies. And here I am talking about coming up into your sixth chakra, right? Those are like higher frequencies that you're trying to access via your sixth chakra. So if you're in this energy of beating yourself up, berating yourself, literally you've just lowered your vibration and you've lowered your vibration so much that you literally just knocking yourself out of your sixth chakra space. Okay? So how's all that landing for you when you hear that? Right? And I know many of you have been very frustrated. Like, you're trying to make your gifts work again. You're trying to, many of you were psychic as a child, but you wish, oh my gosh, I wish I could turn them back on. You're like, oh, but I'm so frustrated, I can't get it. All right, how many of you could relate to all that? Okay, and then Dominique is like, yeah, I'm getting impatient, but I just have to keep reminding myself. That impatience is also a lower vibration. Do y'all get that? Okay, so this is the thing about being an adult learner, right? You have to realize it takes practice. But even when you're practicing, don't be berating yourself. Don't put yourself down. If anything, when you are working on your psychic gifts, have fun with this. Okay? Have fun with this. And when you're having fun, then guess what? The other two, step one, be grounded, step two, be clear. All that becomes easier. Okay? And they're all connected. Step one, step two, step three here. Okay? So really, my coaching for you guys is when we do start the challenge coming up, approach this like a child learning to ride a bike, right? Have fun with it, laugh, play, be in lots of amusement. And the more you can do that, then the more your psychic gifts will wake up, and the more your third eye will activate, and the easier your psychic third eye will activate, awaken, and even from there, it will elevate even more. Okay? All right, so a bunch of you are like, yep, I can relate. Yep, LOA, that's me. Rachel says, I'm not impatient. Awesome, great. Celebrate your wins, have fun. Yes, Katie says, yes, fun. All right, you guys. So those are the three keys, okay? Especially when it comes to awakening your psychic third eye. You must be clear. You must ground, you must be clear, and you must practice. All right, so is all this making sense so far? All right, any questions so far about just the three keys? And while you're typing in your questions, I'm opening up to a Q&A now, by the way. You could literally ask me about anything. One thing I do want to cover that when we do get to the challenge, I just want to manage expectations. Okay, so again, just being adult learners, I will be teaching you the tools. I'll teach you to ground. I'll teach you to get clear. And you have 5 whole days to practice, okay? But when I talk about managing expectations, don't expect that by the end of the 5 days, you'll be this professional level psychic. Okay? Instead, when we get done with the 5 days, when you get through to the 5 days, you get a taste of what's possible. All right? You get the healing from getting clear. And really, what I want y'all to walk away with by the time the 5 days are up is to have that new level of mastery, right? Especially the more you practice, the more your mastery will naturally come into play. And again, full disclosure, if you love what you learn, if you love grounding, if you love the healing from getting clear, and if you love, if you want to practice even more, right? Then full disclosure, after the challenge, I do have more advanced training available, including what I call the Psychic Awakening Mastery Method. All right. And this method includes reading mastery, healing mastery, spirit guide communications mastery, and manifesting mastery. All right. So I'm going to talk about these more, by the time we get to day 5 of the challenge. But I just wanted to give you a preview of what's possible when you start off with these simple 3 keys. Okay. And no matter how far you get on your psychic development, guess what? You're going to be practicing these 3 keys over and over and over again, no matter how advanced you get. All right? And by the way, some of you like, is there an investment into the program? Yes, there's an investment, and I'll share more about that with you. But really, you guys, by the time the 5 days are done, my hope is that you'll love what you learned. You get to know me better, get to know my methods better, that you'll love what you learned so much that you'll want to do business with me in the future. Okay? So anyway, I just wanted to make that clear. You know, like people are like, "Are you gonna sell me something?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, but only if you love what you learn first." Okay. I'm like the worst salesperson, you guys. I only just want to give value, right? And if you love what you learn and you want to work together in the future, then that's available. All right. So anyway, let me just get back to my notes here. All right. So yeah, I want to open it up to questions, and I'll probably stay on another 15 minutes, you guys, to answer any questions that you may have. And do me a favor. You might have to copy paste your question, A, to let me know that you're still here, and B, because literally hundreds of comments came in, so I don't even know where to start. Let me just start with Kathy's. That's the latest one I'm seeing here. Um, oh, that's more of a comment. Okay, Michelle has a question. Do you know certain crystals that help? Yeah, you know, I advise people that go to a crystal shop and just go with what calls to you. Okay. It's been a while since I've been to a crystal shop, but this particular one, this is called Celestinite. Celestinite. And it's supposed to be like a connection to angels. I just thought it was really pretty. And I don't know if you guys could see, but it's almost heart shaped. It won't show on the video, but it's kind of heart shaped. And, you know, the whole connection to the angels thing, it so resonated in me. And I actually at the crystal shop, I put the crystal in my hand and it just felt really good. I love the energy of it. So yeah, that's my advice to people about crystals is go to the calls to you. I have this one. Maybe you guys know. I don't know the names of these things. I think it's obsidian or something. This is very grounding. I just like having it around me. And then this one, selenite. These are selenite sticks. I probably have, I don't know, 6 or 7 laying around. I have a few in my window. They absorb energies. And I have one right in front of my computer screen. I mean, I just find it's helpful. So yeah, whatever calls to you. That's my advice about crystals. Let's see. Kathy, can you ground while riding in a car? Absolutely. Yeah, I ground. I even ground my car. Like I'll ground my room. I'll ground myself, of course. Like I said, these tools, you could use them literally anywhere, anytime. Let's see. Tanya said, I posted a few comments back. I'm trying to copy paste, not working. Yeah, if you're on mobile, just press and hold, and then you should be able to copy it. But if not, Tanya, I'll see if I could scroll back real quick. Okay, here you go. Tanya, I've been helping a woman get justice for her son that was murdered. So last night, me and my little brother pulled up at a gas station. The minute we did, the power went out. So we go to another on the way there, Cash App, and the murdered man's name showed up in my Cash App. Then total store was $9.99. What do you think of this? Just curious. You know, Tanya, my answer to that is the universe works in mysterious ways. Okay. And lights turning off, signs like 999. To me, that's all spirit trying to get your attention, right? And a lot of times, when they try to get your attention in that way, it's to validate things for you, okay? And for me, you know, my story is like street lights used to turn off all the time, and I always thought it was my grandmother watching over me, right? And then, you know, when I did finally learn how to hone and control my own gifts, you know, finally spoke to my grandmother. I'm like, okay, yes, that's you. What is your message? And she's like, I just want to let you know I've been watching over you. From that day forward, the streetlights don't turn off for me anymore. Okay? So, yes, Tanya, take those things as a sign, all right? That spirit's just trying to validate something for you. All right. And I lost my place here. That's okay. Let me just see if I could get to... Okay. Katie, I see spirit, but it's always still image, not animated. You know, Katie, that's a great observation. It won't always be animated. Sometimes spirit will show you things in a way where maybe they want to just show you an image on purpose and not animated. If it showed up as an image versus animated, all that is information. You after a while you begin to ask yourself, why is this image showing up as an image, not animated? And then intuitively, you'll check in with your intuition as to why that might be. Okay. And then you could also tap into your higher knowing as to what message is wanting to come through about that. Okay. So it's all clues. Spirit likes to leave clues about that. So if it's not animated, maybe that's a clue for you. All right. So some of you are talking about my my crystal. Okay, black tourmaline. I've always wondered what that is. I just thought it was pretty, so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get that. And it's crazy with the crystals, you guys, because sometimes you go to the crystal shop, and next thing you know, it's like you spent $500, and you're like, ah. Anyway, that's why it's been a while since I've been to a crystal shop. Let's see. Rachel's asking what's good grounding techniques. Stay tuned for that, Rachel, because that's exactly what I teach on day one of the challenge. Which, by the way, you guys, day one of the challenge, Sunday, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. All right, so save the date. I'm going to be going live. I know some people don't have Facebook. I'm also going to simulcast via Zoom. Okay, so check your email. Check your email for the Zoom link. All right, a few more minutes, you guys. I'm just going to try to answer as many questions as possible. Yeah, Kathy, I'm going to teach you all that on how to ground. Stay tuned. Michelle says, I did a higher self meditation and seen a spirit guide. She had purple eyes and a purple cloak, pale skin. Does this guy sound familiar to you, purple energy? Not per se, but here's the thing. As many people as there are, right? There's probably a million times more beings and spirits out there than there are people. Okay. So point being is when a spirit guide comes to you, just know that just like people, right? Spirit also has different functions, jobs, specialties, right? Some beings are messengers, some beings are healers, just like people. Some are teachers, some are doctors, right? So the next step for you, Michelle, is just to give a hello to that spirit and literally ask it. It's like, hey, who are you? What's your specialty? What do you do? Do you have a message for me? All right. So get it, eventually you're going to get away from like, what is that? Looking it up in the dictionary or like Googling it, right? Just throw all that out the window. Okay. Eventually you're just going to learn how to hone your gifts in such a way you don't need all that. And that's yet another reason why you want to rise up out of your second chakra, right? Because you can't get the information from your second chakra. All that will actually come from your sixth and your crown, okay, your higher knowing. And, I'm not going to cover the crown chakra stuff in the 5-day challenge because it's only 5 days, right? But all that crown chakra stuff is what I teach in my more advanced training, okay? So great question. Kind of got the ascended master feeling. She kissed my forehead. Yeah, go with it. Okay. This is my advice for everyone. My coaching for everyone. Always go with the first thing that comes to you. Okay. Katie Kate says, you the best. Thank you. Appreciate that. Dominique says, I get lots of music that connect with me from my loved ones. Oh, yeah. Reminds me of a student. Like every time a certain song would play on the radio, she'd be reminded of that relative, and then every single time it comes on, right, the energy of her dead relative would come through. So on one hand, yes, it's the song that comes through, right, but then it's also like the divine timing of it all, right? Maybe that song is playing for you just so that spirit can validate for you, like, hey, yeah, I'm here, I'm watching over you, you're okay, you're doing fine. Usually that's the main message that a lot of dead loved ones want to communicate, is just to say, hey, I'm here for you. Okay. Let's see. Joe, I saw a dragon during meditation. Is that normal? Yeah, you know what, Joe, and this is partly why I talked about why you want to ground, right? Because you will see things that like make no sense to you. Maybe a spirit guide has a message for you, right? In your case, it could be a dragon. So yes, it's normal, right? So the next stage is to then ask yourself, I wonder what the dragon is trying to tell me. Okay. Kathy says thank you. Katie says thank you. I forgot what I was talking about. You guys are are saying so. Oh, the 500. Yeah, it was one of those days. Justin, I have a good habit, a good bad habit of buying nice crystals and give them away. Oh, that's awesome. Stephanie has at a metaphysical store. I love going there. Great. Travis says I have a dragon guide. Awesome. Yeah, there's a symbology to it. You know, and just have it be. It's no accident that the visions that you're getting is meaningful for you. For someone else, it won't be a dragon. It might be some fairy being, right? Or some ogre. Who knows? Like all these beings have different information for you guys. Okay. What about a guide being from a past life? Yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing with beings, you guys, is that you'll have agreements with different beings and spiritual contracts. Okay. And the contract is like they're there to either help you get to your next step, help you to get to whatever place you want to get to next. That's often what these agreements are about. Sometimes the agreement is just to hold a certain energy for you. For example, generational. They're like from the generations, family beings, right? I see that a lot of times. Like there's beings for families. So yes, you definitely could have a being, a spirit guide from a past life that you might still have an old contract with. And you always want to check in with those because those past life things, they're in the past, right? If they're in the past, they're not in the present. You have to ask yourself, do you still need that agreement? Or is it time for you to renew the agreement with that past life being? Okay. So yeah, those are all things that I teach in my more advanced training, especially around spirit guide communications mastery. Yeah, a lot of these beings, they're sticking around because they're bound to an old contract, right? They don't know any better sometimes. Okay. So yeah, you have an opportunity to clean up that karma, complete those contracts, and then you could start creating new things in your life. All right. So it's really exciting when you get to that level. Let's see. Dominique says Atlantis memories have been returning, also loved ones. Yeah. The whole Atlantean energy, a lot of star seeds have like past life memories of, having lives in other planets, galaxies, dimensional realities. Like all of that is real, you guys. Like who's to say our past lives were only here on this planet? Right? So that's the whole thing about being a starseed is that, yeah, you came from some other dimensional reality. Now you've taken on human form. A lot of you are on a mission, a starseed mission to help awaken the planet, spread goodness, information, help ground the planet, bring more light into the planet. That's a lot of that starseed stuff, right? And it's said that the whole Atlantean vibration, right, was from visitors from other worlds, right? And you could use the word alien, like a lot of people use the word alien. I just like to say you're just beings from other dimensional realities who have had past lives and now you're here on this planet. Okay? Anyway, yeah, totally believe it all, Dominique. Justin, Archangel Michael shows me his spark daily. Yay, awesome. Joe says, thank you, you're the best. Appreciate that. Megan says, the saying, eyes are the windows to the soul. Sometimes I can read energy through a person's eyes. Absolutely. I totally believe that. Kathy's saying, don't stop believing by Journey is a song I hear and had a flash of yellow the other night. Awesome. Dominique's saying, yep. Okay. I'm just trying to catch up on comments here, see if there's any other questions. Some of you talking about past lives. Great. Oh, that's awesome, Lori. Lori's saying, my sister from this life who crossed over has told me she's one of my guides. It is funny. I see her all the time. Yeah. I remember when one of my uncles passed away, I just had this really strong, like, he's also watching over me. And I remember that, like, it was like within a few weeks of him passing, he's like, hey, I'm here for you. I'm watching over you. But yeah, you'll get messages like that, like the ones loved ones who passed away end up being like a guide or just a helpful friend, a being in the world of spirit. Justin says Earth is a way station. Okay, yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. I kind of picture Earth as like a training ground too for spirit. Um, okay, and then just more comments here. All right, you guys. Well, I'm just looking at my clock here, you guys, and it's 7:01. I like to keep these to an hour. So, with that said, I want to thank all of you for joining me. I so look forward to the first day of the challenge, which is going to be Sunday, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, live here in Facebook in the group. So, if you haven't signed up already, if you're meeting me for the first time, the link is there to sign up. If you have signed up, you haven't joined the group yet, be sure to join the group. Otherwise, look out for the alerts. I'm going to be sending out some calendar invites here in Facebook for the 5 days. So be sure to RSVP for those. Facebook does an alert, like I think it's like 10 minutes before I go live. You definitely don't want to miss it. And, come on live because that's also when you get to ask questions and get to interact. And I know that's really important for many of you as well. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this broadcast of the 3 keys to activating your psychic third eye. Remember, by day 4 and 5 of the challenge, we'll be activating the psychic third eye even more, along with learning all the tools to get to that point. I'm really excited, you guys. I can't wait till Sunday rolls around. Till then, if you have any questions or if you want to reach out to me, feel free to comment, especially if you're watching the replay. I'll try to get to as many comments as I can. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on Sunday. All right, you guys. Bye for now.